ADHD, you know.
That
Does
kills
it?
my ADHD. Or is it ADD?
Yeah, at this
Either
age,
way.
there's not a lot of hyper. I get hurt that way.
I'm doing what we do every time.
Here,
Which is?
I'm checking to see if we're
I'll
online.
let you know. It'll pop on my phone.
It's there. We're already there. Look at that. It was so quick this time. We shot for 10:30, and then we got.
Then I screwed it up.
I wasn't gonna push.
No,
you
I'm
into
fine.
traffic.
I
was gonna take the swing.
I was trying to be respectful of time. I didn't realize we were actually starting at 10:30 until afterwards. But yeah, that's my bad. I'll take it.
That's right.
It's fine. We're here. We're doing Latte with Lajoie. It's all about tech. It's all about AI and cloning and automating. So first and foremost, talk to me about the class that you're involved in, Terry. You're doing it's Dean Graziano. Did I get the name right?
Yes, Dean Grazioso.
Graziano, I think, is a football guy, right? Is he ESPN? I honestly, I think Dean Graziano, I think, is an NFL guy.
The other guy belongs in Harry Potter, right? Because it's just like Lavioso. Isn't that one of the spells or something like that?
So, yeah, he might be from the NFL Insider. He also might be hanging out with Tony Robbins. It's really him and Tony Robbins that are doing this. And it's funny, you've been talking to me about this class for so long, and I finally just got something on my social media about it.
Oh, really?
Them actually talking about the program and jumping in and all that kind of stuff. But tell me, when did you trip over it? And when you tripped over them talking about the class, which is no small undertaking,
Right.
like chronologically and monetarily, there's a lot going on.
Yes.
Where were you in your head with AI? And like, where was it? Yeah, like
That's a joke, right?
no. I think people need to understand like what prompted you to jump in full force into this class, which has been a huge undertaking in your calendar, and
Yes.
obviously, and we can if you're comfortable, you could talk about the two numbers, and I'm giving you a hint here, the two numbers in front of the comma on the price tag. And obviously, it's been a huge positive investment for you
Yes.
for time and money. But where were you when you first saw this class? What prompted you to be like, let's go do this? Because I think if anybody understands, Tony Robbins is no joke. Like big, said with love, Tony. Big banana hands. Like he's got the biggest hands in America.
Yeah.
He's a huge guy. Nothing's a half measure.
Right.
So you have to be like, this is going to be really intense.
And it was. Is.
Yeah, still is, right? Because you're still in the middle of it.
I am.
Yeah.
So I had played with chat minimal. I still used Google for everything. And I would go over here to chat once in a while and be like, what's that? But that's kind of where I was. And Dean showed up on my Facebook feed, and they were doing an AI boot camp, and they talked about getting 10 to 15 hours of your week back. I went, oh, I can use that. So I did that. It was supposed to be 30 days, turned into like 7 weeks. Because as you know, Tony doesn't do anything halfway. He always under promises, over delivers, always. And so it ended up being like 6.5, 7 weeks. It was about $1,000. And I'm like, all right, well, that's money well spent. The very first week we got the clone, and the classes were every single week with homework before, homework after. I was displaced from my house at the time because my bathroom was being dismantled. And so I was...
AI stood for always in between living situations.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. So here I am living in Salem in a girlfriend's basement. And
you had a great view, though. I remember that. We had some coaching calls.
Well, no, this was my second time being displaced.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm in a basement looking out at trees.
Oh, you had one where it was like you were on Golden Pond. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
That was last summer.
Okay, I'm old.
But in December,
okay.
I spent the majority of December at my other girlfriend's house in Salem, and just living in her basement. It was awesome, which was amazing because we got to spend time together. So that was really amazing. But I was working during the day, and about 5 o'clock at night, I would stop doing my real estate and I would start doing homework. And I would be up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing AI homework because I had class the next Monday and I didn't know what I was doing and everything took longer. And the first project that I did once the clone was set up, the first project that I did was social media because I'd already started the TV show. And I knew from taking Bold, I wanted to be on video. I wanted to be on the social media. I wanted that presence. I knew it was going to take time to build, but that's what I wanted. So that was kind of my goal behind all of this, was to get that. And I did. My first TV show took, I'm going to say, probably 60 hours just for the TV show, and then probably another 40 hours to get my social media set up. My clone went through and it evaluated all of my social media accounts and said, these 3 don't exist at all. And these have been dormant. They're going to be fun. And oh, by the way, change these this way. And it walked me through, and I got pissed off at the clone on a very regular basis. Swore at it more than once. And I can't tell you how many times I said, stop, in all capital letters, running me in blank circles because this is not okay.
Sure.
Tell me exactly what to do step by step and don't give me any fluff.
You didn't use those words.
Some of it. But, and it would go
Auntie
back.
Terry, is that French? No. Go back to your room. Yeah.
You laugh. I'm sorry to interrupt you in the middle of this, but so my daughter, who's in college, uses AI regularly for different things, and I literally walk in the room and she's yelling at AI because she's like, "You're lying to me," because she's like, "It's wrong,"
Right.
like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
same thing.
For
Go
sure.
ahead.
Well, and I was gonna. I want you to park for a second and go to the TV show, because I think people, just to give people an understanding of what it was, and I know you're on the newest iteration of it.
Yes.
When you started your show the first time, we'll call it 1.0. Can you explain to everyone like where you're doing it, how long it is, like the setup, so people can understand how?
So I'm on public television, and my show is all things real estate. So we tape. We're on Channel 6, Comcast, Channel 6, for National Public Television. And they then syndicate it out to other TV shows for us. So that's where it's at. I started out prior to the pandemic. We got, 6 episodes in before the pandemic hit, and they shut us down. And I just didn't pick it up again. And so fast forward, now I want to pick it back up again. I went to Bold. I want my video stuff, and I want to start driving traffic.
Yeah.
So that's how I got there. So back to my clone, yelling at it, swearing at it, practically throwing the computer across the room.
Day one question. So you're not. Is there any point now where you're actually typing back and forth with AI? Or are you full verse at this point?
I still type with it.
Okay.
Yeah, everything. I don't use the. I tried using the microphone once, and I didn't realize I had to enter when I was done speaking.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I know that. So
Yeah.
I just don't use the voice very often. You can.
Yeah.
I have somebody from the chamber who I taught how to use the clone, and she uses the voice, and that's okay. You can, if you're driving, you can have actual conversations with it,
Yeah,
and
1000%.
and all that, but I just don't. And so I was really pissed off at it more times than I can count. And it really wasn't even so much that I was pissed off at it. It was that I was pissed off that this is technology and I don't know how to use it. It's social media. Instagram. Oh my God. I was, more times than I can count, ready to throw the computer across the room. I was swearing with words that I've never used before. And finally I got to a point where I said to the clone, I'm like, you're going too fast. I need literally one step. Tell me what to click. Where is it on the page? And don't tell me anything else until I have that. I literally had to break it down that far. Like, social media was not my thing. Fast forward to today, and we'll fill in the gap in a minute, but fast forward to today, I have automations for all of the components of the social media. I drag and drop into chat. I don't say a word. I don't type a word, and it spits out all 9 social medias posts, and all I do is copy and paste. And it takes about 15 minutes to do all 9 social medias.
When you say social media, are you talking about different platforms
Yes.
or different handles on certain platforms?
So Facebook, business and personal, Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, YouTube Long, And I think there's 9 of them.
Okay.
Now, and didn't you, and refresh my memory, I think we talked about this a little bit before, but didn't you say that the different platforms prefer a different format? Is it the same thing that's going to all of them, or is it different format?
No, all the social medias,
Yeah.
they're all different.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing, right?
Each one that it spits out is optimized for that one, complete with title, description, and hashtags.
That's awesome.
So I literally copy and paste. And if there's one thing that I've learned through this whole, I don't even know what, no, December through, where are we?
Sure.
However many months.
Yeah.
If you can copy and paste, you can do AI.
So you're
That's all I do is copy and paste.
5.5 months you've been doing this.
And I copy and paste.
Yep.
That's what I do.
You mentioned you are the tool that you're using to break things up, or that AI is using to break things up. Like you said, to go to social media,
Yep.
what tool are you using?
A variety.
Yeah.
And my clone taught me how to use all of them. Just putting that out there because I'm clueless. So the first thing that I had to do was compress it. That was probably 40 hours to get the first one compressed because I didn't want to use a web-based tool. Just, I don't know why, but I was adverse to it. And so I spent 40 hours fighting with it. And finally my clone came back and said, this is the only tool that will work for you. You're using professional, high-resolution video, and this is the only tool available on the planet that can do what you need to do. So would you like to use it? Fine.
Well, yeah, and that's going to be a differentiator for a lot of people because the cameras you're using at the television station
Yes,
are going to be different than somebody's iPhone 17.
correct.
Or their Osmo Pocket 3 or whatever
Exactly.
they're using. So, okay.
So I have that tool, and it takes about 15 minutes to process. But what it does is it compresses it down to a format that any other tool can then use. So we do that. It takes me, there's 5 settings. So I upload it. I say MP4 to MP4, and then I do my 4 settings, and I hit go, and then I go do something else, and it spits it out. From there, I get a transcript because AI uses the transcript with the video to get context because I'm doing a lot with clips. And it doesn't always have the full context of the video when I'm doing a small clip. And so it was giving me posts that I'm like, that's wrong. That doesn't relate. And I realized that it doesn't relate because it doesn't have the context. So now I just have a transcript for the whole show and I upload that with every clip so it knows what we're talking about. Then I go into iMovie and I chop the ends off because there's a leader and a trailer from the TV show. I don't want those, so I chop them off. And so I do that in iMovie. And that gives me my full show that's compressed and ready for LinkedIn. Then I take that, also in iMovie, and I cut it in half. So I have the first half and the second half for LinkedIn because it only takes 15 minutes in the 30-minute segments. So now I've got 2 long posts for LinkedIn.
Are you dragging those out? Or do you drop one on Monday and then one on Thursday? You're pulling like the Netflix thing?
Yeah.
Like Stranger Things got dropped? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we go to Opus Clips, and the full compressed show goes into Opus, and it chops it up, and I pick 4 clips from that.
Yep.
And on my computer, everything has a folder. So I've got my full show, I've got the compressed show, I've got the transcript, I've got all the clips, I've got the LinkedIn video and the LinkedIn post, YouTube and the LinkedIn and the YouTube post. And then it does 2 blog posts for me. And so all of that just sits in a file. And when I'm ready for it, I go drag and drop, and it spits out all the social media content for me. And then I go copy and paste into social media, and it's fun.
I'm a fan of Opus Clips. Do you feel when you built your clone that and maybe there's no answer to this because did Opus Clips come after the clone?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel that Opus Clips has gotten better content out of you since your clone is learning you bit by bit and more every time? Because I find people will get back to me because I'm a fan of Opus Clips, and I've also said it's going to go in and to the best of its ability, it's going to pull out the most poignant moments of whatever 30, 60 minutes you have. And then you'll get some, and admittedly, you'll get some and you're like, meh, like, I don't know. There's nothing there that's catchy. I wouldn't necessarily use that. I've got these other 6 here.
Right.
Do you feel like it's really brightened up on what it is giving you for choices?
For Opus Clips, no, because until I compressed everything, it couldn't do it anyways.
Okay.
The files were too big.
Okay.
It probably gives me 30 clips. Honestly, I take 4, and they're usually in the first 8. I take 4 of the first 8.
Sure.
And that's usually enough. I try to make sure that they're not all on the same topic, because we go through a variety on the 30-minute show. We go through a variety of topics.
Sure.
So I try to hit different ones, and I try to hit ones that I think people are going to be interested in. The one that's out there this or last week, I had a lender that was on the show, and he came in and he was talking about 4321 hack for investment properties. That segment now has the most hits of any segment that we've done. And so my creative guy and I were on yesterday doing the TV show, and we talked about that again, because I know it's going to be a hot topic. And we dug into it. So the whole show
Wait a
is
minute, your creative guy's going to be on the show?
He's my co-host. He's on all the shows.
He is.
Yes, he is.
I felt like, well, I see, because you always talk about him in the midday protocol and stuff, and you always say the creative guy. And I feel like that's your way of making sure that his name doesn't get out, because he's your creative guy.
He's my co-host.
But now he's out. Now we know. Okay, he's out there.
He's my co-host.
All right, from a social media standpoint, just so people understand, Opus Clips, you could be doing the same thing with CapCut. I mean, it's different, but it's the same, because I think people might be wondering what Opus Clips is. For you as an agent, and we could talk more about the social media, but just from a productivity standpoint, like the thing that's probably most effective for our agents is like, okay, let's talk about AI, not replacing me, but leveraging me. The big question, everybody's concern is the robots are going to come take our jobs. And somebody said this at, somebody might have said this at regional masterminds at Gillette a few weeks ago, and they were just like, and it might have been Phil M. Jones, I think it was, so I'll give him credit. AI is going to replace you if you're already using it to replace you, right? And there's things that we can't, like as agents and and as lenders, we can't say like, okay, go do all my fiduciary stuff.
Right.
Like people are probably going to do that, and we shouldn't, right?
Correct.
Take all the functionary crap off my plate. So start to talk, and I know there's a bunch to talk about, but start to talk about the things that you've pushed away that you don't need to be doing. If we have that conversation of do, delegate, dump, how much of it have you been able to give to Terry AI to have her tackle? And I don't know. What did you name him? What did he pick? Is it Jordan?
His name is Jordan.
Jordan, right? Okay.
And he named himself.
He named himself, which is probably the first frightening part. Like, oh, wait a minute. He's created autonomy already. It's only day 1.
But they don't. The reality is, when I told it to create a name, it pushed back, and it's like, I'm Terry's clone. Because that's the name of the clone. Yep. And I said, well, I understand that, but I want you to have a name. So pick a name. And it gave me like 4. And I said, no, this is your name. You pick it. And it picked Jordan and said, Jordan sounds professional. Okay, great. So Jordan is my clone.
Okay.
And in 5.5 months, now I've been in business 22 years. In the last 5.5 months, I'm going to back up. 22 years, I've never once been caught up. About, 6 or 7 weeks ago, I was talking to you and I said, for the first time ever, I have no piles. I can see my
floor.
I can see the floor. I can start to see my desk. I can see parts of my desk.
The other person who had a moment like that was Melissa Lesniak a couple of years ago. If you ever get on a Zoom call with her, on the credenza behind her, she just had stacked folders. It was like the Barney Miller show, right? And like they were suddenly gone. But go ahead.
So in 22 years, I've never been caught up. And I remember having a conversation with you, Tim, and I was like, okay, so for the first time, the only thing I have left to do is network, which is what I do, and call my database. And that's what I've been doing. Now, my database has creeped up a little bit because I've had 2 short sales back to back that take a ton of time. But I'm still caught up on everything else. My clone writes all of my property descriptions, and I don't change them anymore because I don't have to, because it knows how to write it. In all fairness, my descriptions have always been systemized. So I like my description to be a walkthrough of the house. the walkthrough is we come in the door, which is usually into the kitchen. So you go to the kitchen and the dining room and the living room, and then whatever else is on the first floor. Then you go upstairs and you do the bedrooms upstairs, and then you go to the basement and anything that's in the basement, and then we walk around the outside. All of my property descriptions have always been that way. And so now what I do is I say I have a 3-bed, 2-bath colonial with a breezeway and a 2-car attached garage that's sitting on 2.4 acres. And here's some special features. It's got this flooring, it's got that flooring, whatever I'm going to put. And I just literally throw the specifics in and it spits it out. And I'm like, yep, that sounds about right. And it knows because it's my clone.
Yeah.
And this is how I do the description every single time. So it's created its own format.
Yeah.
But every one of my descriptions is different. And every one of them sounds like me. In the last month and a half, for my social media, I think I've made 3 changes. 2 of them were name spellings because it has a voice. It doesn't know how to spell it. And then the other one was, I guess, came on and used the word convo, and it used convo. And I'm like, anybody that knows me knows I'm never going to use that. I'm never going to use that. Yeah. So I changed it to conversation. And I made a note and I said, don't use this in the future. And it said, duly noted, and it won't. But so even though I have my clone, it still is, I'm still training. But now the training is, don't do this again. Or this is the format that we use. Creating agent partnerships here within the office. I literally had a notepad because, I do everything on my notepad. And I was going to...
Which is wildly ironic because you're like knee deep in AI, but you're like, where is my Eagles quill? Hang on a second. I've got to write something down.
But I had all this information on my notepad. And I was like, I need to get this into a spreadsheet. And I'm like, click. Go. Put this in a spreadsheet. These are the columns I want. Organize it this way. And within 30 seconds, I had the spreadsheet. I went, oh, cool.
Yep.
It can read my handwriting. That's magic in itself.
Well, so I Lord knows some agents are going to be like, okay, so I'm using whatever you're using. We'll talk about the different AI tools that you could be using, because I don't think there's necessarily a concern about, are you using the right one? Are you using it correctly?
Yeah.
Are you using it enough? Are you going deep enough? Because admittedly, I'm going in and like, I feel like I'm cutting edge because I'm no longer going to Google, and I might be asking the same question, but I'm still surface layer on what I'm doing. So there's an agent thinking right now, like, okay, my AI is learning me too, but to crack the code and what you've done and what you learned in this class is you've manipulated it to the point where you've given it your DNA.
Yes.
And then that's when it takes on clone power. So somebody might hear you saying, I'm having to write my descriptions, and like, okay, well, you just said we should be doing that or shouldn't be doing that, but it is acting not for you, but as you, because you've given it all of these things, like right down to like, this is how I would answer a text. This is how I would answer an email, which is interesting because we've joked about this for years. If you get, obviously if you're getting a text message more often than not, 99% of the time, if you get a text message from Nathan Dickey, it's probably him, unless he's at something and Kate or Kaylee, somebody has his phone and they're firing off a message in which it's going to feel like somebody who cares is writing back to you. Like you can tell
knows what punctuation is.
Not that Nathan doesn't care, but he loves himself. The middle finger of texting is K, and Nate loves a good K, right? So for him to build his clone and to have its DNA, if it was really going to respond like him, it would be very short. He is high D.
Yes.
There would be a K. And as opposed to, I'm so sorry that your car broke down. Good luck this weekend, right? Which would have been nicer if he did that last weekend when I broke down and he didn't come get me. I'm just kidding. Maybe I'm not. Anyway, go ahead.
So when we create the clone, we actually do 2 things. One, we create the clone, which is telling it who we are, what we do, there's a ton of information in there.
Yeah.
And you also create your voice. And you do that by using past writing styles, things that you've done, and there's a whole process for it. But that's what we're doing, is we're using things that we have already written. And so it's amazing how it pulls it out. Like when you upload stuff and then it gives you back information, it'll tell you what your emotion status is when you're writing. It'll tell you, like, it told me that I'm very caring and, you know, I'm very gentle with how I do things, but yet I'm direct and to the point. There's not a lot of fluff, but it comes across as caring. And so it pulls that stuff out. It pulls out your emotions and it pulls out your writing style. It knows I'm direct. It knows I'm to the point, but I don't like big fluffy words. So I use short words that everybody can understand. That's me. And it learns that. And the cool thing is that I use chat. I've not gotten into Gemini. I've not gotten into some of the other ones. Although my training for last week, which I haven't done yet because I logged in.
You hear that, Tony? She hasn't done her homework. God.
Dean Grazioso was on talking, and I got through Dean. And when Igor came on to actually teach the class,
There's a guy named Igor.
Igor Pogny. Yes, he's freaking amazing.
He better be with a name like Igor.
He is the head of AI for Tony Robbins. And
probably not a bad.
So he's probably okay at it.
Probably not a bad guy.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
As soon as he came on, he uttered one word, and my internet went down and went. Ah! And
You told me about this. You had to do a hard reset to the house. Yeah.
I had to reset the router twice. It came up, but then my computer died. By the time I got the computer back online, the class had ended.
Oh.
And I'm like,
did the electricity shut off your computer?
No.
Or did Jordan shut off your computer? Maybe Jordan's like, I don't want her to meet Igor. Igor's nicer than me. I'm shutting this down.
It's the start.
So I have the replay. I've gotten through about a quarter of it. But I need to go back through that. But it's, I'm still working on it. And this next segment, what I needed, because they always we have homework before every class. We have to do things in advance. And part of it was to get a Claude account. And not only do we need Claude, we needed Claude, the desktop. We needed Claude, the Chrome extension. We needed Claude, the internet version. We needed 3 different versions of Claude. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And to get the level that they wanted us at, it's like $125 a month. And I went, oh.
That's the Claude subscription, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm on the $20 subscription for chat.
Yep.
And I've hit that limit. I had to do an appraisal dispute, which my AI wrote the whole thing with my help. It was amazing. 54-page appraisal dispute with pictures. And I would upload room by room. Here are the pictures. Tell me everything that's wrong with this room.
54. Do you figure they're just going to get to page 27 and be like, whatever you say? Whatever you say.
Well, the cool thing is it didn't matter because we were able to pull it out of short sale and get an offer that ended up not being a short sale, which is fabulous. But I hit all of the limits of chat. I hit the upload limit. I hit the printing limit. I hit the download limit. I hit them all. And so with each one, it would be like, oh, you can't do anything for 2 hours because there's a upload of, you can only do 50 uploads on that per 3 hour, rolling 3 hour. And I kept hitting it. And
that's how I know I'm underutilizing it because I had no idea there were limits. I'm not even close to touching the side. I'm like, what should I get for lunch? I mean, I'm not doing that today. But
yeah. So the first time
might hit your limit.
I was like,
you had enough Kim Lai, Tim.
I'm gonna go get dinner. I'm gonna go eat, and by the time I come back, it'll let me back in.
Yep.
And then I hit it a little while later, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, you can come back at 1 a.m. I'm like, nope, I'm going to bed. This is my excuse to go to bed. So now I have a Claude, and I've not played with Gemini. Gemini is notorious for being the best one out there for images. Having said that, I have a girlfriend that is using chat and her clone to create dragon images, and they're stunning. So it's not that you can't do it in chat. You can.
Sure.
You just have to be specific. You have to tell it exactly what you want. And Gemini is more intuitive. You can give it less information and it'll give you a better image. For a Claude, the cool thing about Claude and what we're starting to step into is agentrics. And for people that don't know what agentrics is, that's when your AI, clone, whatever you want to call it, is going out and doing for you. So you have to and I'm just going to say, be really careful, because you have to give it authorization to operate on your behalf in your systems.
Yes.
A lot of people are using it in their CRMs. That's downright scary to me. Like, that's their confidential information. That's my client's confidential information, and I'm giving it to Anthropic, basically. So I don't do that. My CRM has automations built into it, AI built into it. I'm more inclined to learn and teach, see if there's a way for me to teach that as opposed to do the other. But there's a lot that your clones can do outside of your CRM. And so yeah, that's the cool thing. And I didn't talk about my automations yet. We're
not there yet. Well, I was going to ask you real quick with you're talking about Claude, and I know that you're speaking about the fact that you have the Claude account, and that's could hit $125 a month or whatever.
Mine's
it is.
$125 a month.
$125 a month.
And I'm the third level up.
There's a whole other thing that hit. I saw it all over the place probably about 90 days ago, 2 months ago, and people were talking about Claude Bot. And there was a huge run. It's probably still pretty scarce if you go out and try to get the one I have on my desk. That's an M1 Mac Mini. That's the original one. Now they're on the M4/M5 processor Mac Minis. They're little tiny. They're even smaller than that footprint now, but they're a little chunkier. They're taller, but they're about the size of an Apple TV. If anybody's ever seen that, they're silver, a little bit taller, a little chunkier, and people are doing that, and all they're putting on that is their Claude, and it's running, for lack of a better term, rampant and doing all their stuff.
Yes.
Like, go to bed. It's going to day trade for you. Like, all of the things. And to your point, that's where we cross that fiduciary line.
Correct.
Like, oh, well, I don't, hey, we should stop using, I'm just going to use generalities. We should stop using Dotloop, because Dotloop's owned by our friends over at the Z Company, and they're going to steal all our data because Uncle Gary had an agreement with them, but now we don't have an agreement. So use DocuSign, but now we're going to Lone Wolf. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, all that aside, we do all these things to protect our clients' data, but then we walk this fine line of like, okay, but I can have them do stuff for me, but anything could go wrong at any moment.
Right.
I at some point, I feel like the real estate community is going to have to speak about this. And again, who's going to know what people are doing on their desks behind closed doors?
Right.
But you'd be leaving yourself wide open.
Correct.
To get in a lot of trouble, I would trust, if they find that you were the reason, because that also, it could go backdoor. You're attached to the 500 agents at the market center, right? It could go wild.
Right.
It could go really wild.
And it has accesses that people don't know about. Like, I don't have a lot of information about that stuff, but I know that, like, it can go out and do things. And I don't want to say it can hack into a computer, but I would not be surprised. Like,
well, that's like, where people get freaked out. Like, okay.
Yeah. And so the first thing that we did when we set up our clones was we changed our settings. And we did that yesterday when I was here.
Yeah.
Changed the setting to not allow it to make the model better for everybody. What that's doing is saying, don't share my data. Because now if they share your data.
Don't crowdsource.
Yeah. Right, don't crowdsource. Don't share my data. Because at least now you have something that says, I said don't do it and you did it. That's on you, not me. And so I'm really careful about making sure that, we're changing those settings. And if you're using an AI and you're not familiar with it, do you know what those settings are? Do you know to go change those settings?
Sure.
So, there's that stuff too.
So, all right, but down the wormhole we go. So you go in there, you go into data settings, do not make it better for everyone. Do not crowdsource, do not share the data that I'm compiling here. What prevents Jordan or any of the other androids of going back into that system and being like, I'm going to just flip that switch back? She wasn't thinking clearly when she moved that radio button. Honestly, right?
Or
who knows?
Flip it back, and then when you get what you want, flip it back again so it looks like you were never there. Who knows?
You probably shouldn't say that because it's listening.
Your phone's been listening the whole time.
Hang on a second.
But it's
Yeah, we're gonna let her go right after the show. Yeah, don't worry. All right, I'll see you, Gary. Bye.
But there's just so much it can do, and I guess if people are listening out there, because I don't know how much time we have left, but if people are listening,
well, Brad was late. Did I say that out loud? No, we're good. We're good. We're
Wow.
rolling. We're rolling.
Well,
Keep
it's gonna be
going.
done by noon. It's
Keep going.
only 12:30.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean 11:30.
It's only 12:30.
We're gonna rough day at what
We're gonna
time?
take a commercial break. We'll be back in 3 hours. Yeah, we're gonna go stretch.
like if you don't know how to do something, tell it you don't know how to do it. Ask it. So I took a AI class at my chamber before I started the whole clone thing.
Yep.
And the biggest thing, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to follow along and I have no clue. And the person who was teaching it was teaching you how to do things, but not teaching you how to get anywhere. We've all had those classes, right? Where somebody assumes A-level knowledge. So they're talking at a B level and you don't have A-level knowledge.
Yeah,
And
you're
so
still trying to
you're
still trying to plug in your MacBook. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And
Reset the internet.
happens a lot. The best thing that I took out of that class, and I still use it, is ask AI how to do in AI what you need to do. So I needed to put a carriage return in. I just wanted to create a line break. I tried it 6 different ways. And it just kept sending the information. I'm like, don't send it. I just want a space. For my own brain, I want a space.
Yes.
And so I finally got the instructor's attention. I'm like, how do I do this? He's like, well, it's shift enter. And I'm like, oh. And because I asked that simple question, he then made the statement, you can ask your AI anything about how to use your AI. And I went, oh. So I do that all the time.
Yeah.
My AI is writing all of my SOPs. So anytime it gives me instructions, it now knows I want an SOP. So it just at the end says, would you like a downloadable document? And I say yes, and it spits it out. It doesn't get mad. If you have, and Brad, I'm going to pick on you for a minute. If you have an assistant.
We've hit that part of the show. Hang on, let me get my scorecard out. Go ahead.
If you have an assistant.
I was late. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that.
Listen, to give him his flowers, Bradley was out solving a crime, as he always does.
Always.
And if you need a crime solved, it's 603-396-3198. Back to you, Terry.
If you have an assistant and you ask them to do something and they do it, and then you're like, I don't like it, do it again. And they do. And you're like, I still don't like it, do it again. How many shots at that do you get before they...
Kelly usually punches him right in the neck at that point, yeah.
Before they start getting really
She also doesn't
irritated
make
with you,
mistakes,
right?
yeah.
Maybe 3?
Yeah, maybe. Especially if you do it uncaring like that, Terry.
Yeah. No wonder Jordan shut your whole computer off.
Jordan doesn't get upset.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do still say please and thank you.
He's
Like, you don't
storing
have
digital
to.
anger. The day's coming. The reckoning is coming.
There's a wall.
Yep.
But it's you can tell it to redo it. The other thing you can do is you can, if it's written a document for me and I say like paragraph 2, sentence 3, change this, and I highlight what I want and I stick that in. Give me other suggestions. It'll do that. And I'll be like, and it'll say, do you want option 1, option 2, or 3? 2. And that's all you do is 2. And it goes off and it does it. And if then I read it and I'm like, I still don't like that. Or then I can say, hey, rewrite paragraph 3. And it will rewrite it. No, I don't like that. Make it more sensitive. Make it more of this. Make it more of that.
Yeah.
And it will. So there's so much that you can do with it. I asked my clone a question the other day. So I'll back up. I did a time study. I think I told you I did a time study. I've been doing time studies for years.
Such a dork. Go ahead.
Yes,
though.
a dork.
Yes.
I have a 5-subject notebook with all my time studies in it.
You know what the scary thing is, Tim? I don't even know what a time study is.
Keeping score over here, Brad. Dear Arena.
So, time
And
study.
your wife's a teacher. Okay.
is when you take and from the time that your day starts till you go to bed, every 15 minutes you write down what you did. And you do that for 2 weeks.
Nobody wants to see that.
Right. So
Brad's
nobody
like
wants
Candy
to do
Crush,
it.
Candy Crush, Candy Crush.
Clash.
Mortgage origination.
Clash Royale.
Yeah. Oh, is that what we were on now? I'm so sorry.
Finn started playing Clash, so I had to switch
All
games.
right, he's not on Candy Crush anymore. Good to know.
So I used to look and say, where am I wasting time? Well, on a paper book, you can see that. Well, I spent 15 minutes talking to so-and-so. Well, that wasn't related to my business, and so you can cut those things out. With this, it was, okay, it's 9 a.m. on Monday. I'm starting a time study. You're going to track everything for the next week. I'm going to start making phone calls. And then 30 minutes goes by and I'm still making phone calls, or, hey, I have to go do something in the kitchen, or I'm taking a break, or I'm off to an appointment, or I'm going and doing whatever. And it just keeps tracking it. And every time it tracks it, every time you make an entry, it spits out a report. I ignore all those reports till I get to the end of the day. And then it gives me a report for the day. And it tells me how many hours I spent lead generating, how many hours were productive, how many hours were gap time, how many hours I spent on the road, how many hours were in appointments, how many hours were face-to-face with people, how much time was networking. Like, it gave me like all of that information. Yep. At the end of and I only did it for 5 days. At the end of the 5 days, I said, give me a full report. It gave me a full report. Because I do so much lead generation and networking is my lead generation, it identified not only that it said that I was at an elite level, which I was like, really? I'm elite? I don't think so, but whatever. It said I was at an elite level for lead generation. It also said that my networking was extremely productive because of the types of networking that I do. And I'm not just out randomly talking to people. And so it identified like what I do. It also identified the flow of my day, which, I'm sorry, you can't really get that looking at a piece of paper. But it identified the rhythm of my day and the flow and what my ideal day was. And then it put an entire plan together for my day and my week to make me as a human more productive in my business. And I went, oh, wow, okay, I'd never seen a report like that. And I printed it out. I said, give me an SOP for that. And here's your, and it's like, would you like me to schedule your day? And I'm like, no.
At the very least, I love that you did that. The fact that you did it for 5 days is admirable, because I'll have an agent, if they're getting jammed up, I'll be like, here's what I need you to do. The next time you're going to have like a really administrative day, like you're going to be in the office, you're going to be in brick and mortar, you're going to be doing actual lead gen or whatever they're doing, but just a day where you're going to be here at the Portsmouth office, in your office, just do that. And I have them do it because I want them to identify the time bandits and the energy vampires, right?
Right.
The challenge with that, if you remember the original DISC assessment, or most DISC assessments, but the original one from Dr. Abelson would give you your natural and your adaptive. Your natural is what you're doing unwatched. Your adaptive is, oh, I'm doing this. So I know people will gamify those and come back to me and be like, look, coach, here's what I did the other day. More often than not, what we find, because most of us are working in solidarity, solitude, I should say, is we're going to find that we were probably the time bandit, not necessarily the energy vampire, or you're going to identify the person that's always knocking on your door, and you let them in. But so over the course of 5 days, it's not just a blip. And it really shows trends. And the fact that it can identify flow, and probably if you asked it to, like, where did my energy seem to be the best, you could probably get that too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a huge tool moving forward, like just understanding where you perform best, because people will argue. And I know every agent in the country would argue, oh, no, I'm doing great. And I work from my island in my kitchen at home. I know that. And I think those agents could do better if they were officing, you know? So for you, what changes did you make once you took that data, and like what glaring things popped out that like, oh my God?
There weren't, because I've been doing them for so long.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's always a focus on how I can streamline. One of the things that Tony and Dean promised if you did not get 10 to 15 hours a week back, that the program would be free.
But you had to show your math.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Actually, no. They were just like, if you don't feel that you got the time and the value out of it, we'll give you your money. We'll give you a refund.
Well, let me say this concerning that. I'm sure if you raised your hand and told them that, they'd be like, can we have a conversation? Right. And I only say that because I know that some of the best, like Tom Ferry coaching.
Yeah.
He'd be like, if you come to my event and you want to see me on the last day or call me a week after you get home and tell me it sucked, I just need you to send the workbook to me.
Yep.
With all your work. Because if you didn't do the work, you can't tell me that it sucked.
Right.
If you didn't eat the meal, you can't tell me the food sucked. So I would trust that Tony Robbins would have some accountability behind that guarantee.
I'm sure, but the other side of it is that I was in a program with Tony probably 15 years ago, and I did get a refund because I couldn't keep up. And I'm like, I can't keep doing this because I can't keep up with you.
Yeah.
And they refunded money.
That's awesome.
So like, they're really good about.
Well, and the other piece too, and we haven't gotten there. You don't have to share the math. I'll just say those two numbers in front of the comma. Like in the grand scheme of things, you have to be sitting there saying, okay, this is why I'm committed. I'm committed because I trust these two individuals. I'm committed because I just wrote that check or swiped that card for this amount. And it's
so I'll share it.
They do not make it free, and it shouldn't be. It's a fantastic class.
The boot camp was $1,000.
Boot camp was $1,000. Okay.
And I made the mistake of saying after the first class, the clone was worth 10 times that. Guess what mastery cost? 10 times that.
Yeah.
Mastery is almost $12,000.
Okay. So you're at 13 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
plus the subscriptions.
Plus the subscriptions.
Oh, yeah. The ongoing subscription. Sure.
Yep. And and the time, right? I mean, we have class. The first Tuesday of the month is 2.5 to 3 hours. So I have to block that off. And then it's an hour every Tuesday after that. And so it's a lot of time.
Yep.
So that's that time commitment, but then you got to do the work, because if you don't do the work, you're not going to get the value from it. Right. And I'm at a point now where there was one segment that I literally looked at and said, I will circle back to that. And I just didn't even, I'm like, I don't need it. I'm not going to use it right now. I will circle back to it because it's a great tool. I'm just not going to use it.
It's not for me right now.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It is totally okay. They're giving away free trips every month to Arizona because in July, they're doing it in person, which I can't go to because I can't get on a plane and fly right now. But it's 3 days with Igor, Tony, and Dean in Arizona, one-on-one with there's only 200 people in my mastery group. We're the first group to go through.
Yep.
They just extended it from 6 months to 12 for the mastery at no additional charge because we're their first group. They want us teaching it. They want us out there helping people, and they want us to be partnered with them to teach. And that's really cool. One of the pieces is like, there's just so many pieces. I am currently working on automations. So anything that I do repetitively, like my social media, is automated. And so the really cool thing, like when I do my social media posts now, and I think I said this earlier, I literally drag and drop the clip and the transcript in, and I hit enter, and it spits out all of it. Then right behind it, I drop in the full show and the transcript, and it spits out 2 blog posts, one for the first half, one for the second, 2 LinkedIn posts, one for the first half, one for the second, and everything I need for YouTube. And all of the documents to go with it because I asked for that. And so all I do is save it into my computer, and when I'm ready for that episode, then I drag and drop and paste. So it's like, that's the stuff that we're doing. Like, and it's easy. Anything that you do on the computer that you do repetitively can be automated.
And it's going to have your dialect, the way you would text, the way you would talk.
And in all fairness, I check everything. I read everything before I post it.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. When we were at Family Reunion, somebody talked about the 20-60-20 rule, and I'm going to say it's definitely probably more 30-50-20, I think. Their mindset was 20% is the prompt you give it, 60% is the machine doing the work, 20% is you spell checking and Grammarly and rehumanizing it before you push it out. And I think anybody who's paying attention is realizing there's more power in the accuracy of your prompt. You could go in and be like, give me this. Okay, then make it more this, make it more this, make it more this. And you keep molding it, or you can get really good at that first prompt. And it's taking more work off your palette and your plate because you're not like, oh, no, I need more, I need it to be kinder. I need it to be warmer. I need it to be more professional. If you could get all that, if you get better at your prompts, it creates a huge efficiency for you as well.
It also learns you over time, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's funny because
But
people
I think
say
you could
that
still
all the
give
time.
you could still give it a shitty prompt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's 10 components to a prompt.
Prompt.
To a
Yes.
prompt.
Those are fat prompts. Not that we're judging.
There's 10 components to the prompt. You don't use them all. Sometimes you might, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
And so you have that. So you give it a good prompt. But like you said, it's going to learn you over time. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't need a clone because I've been training it for 2 years. Okay, you've been training it for 2 years. It's in 2nd grade. With the clone that I have, that realistically takes less than 2 hours to create, you just went from being in 2nd grade to having a master's degree. Well, who do you want to work with? The guy with the master's degree?
Yeah.
Or the 2nd grader?
Yep.
Right.
Where are you going to get better results from? You're going to get the better results from the clone.
Yep.
And that's why, like I tell everybody, the clone changes the game. That's what gave me my time back.
Yeah.
And I still work 80 hours a week but I'm doing a lot more business.
Yeah.
And because of the social media, and this goes back to Bold, but it kind of ties it all together. Because of the TV show and the social media and all of the stuff that I'm doing, I'm getting phone calls now. Last weekend I had a phone call from an agent in California because I'm, quote, the distressed property person in New Hampshire. And I was like, okay, I don't know where she got my information from, but she called my cell phone to ask me questions about potentially listing a house in New Hampshire for a family member. And I'm like, well, that's what I do if you need my help. And she goes, you're a nice person. I wouldn't want to sick my family on you. I'm like, oh, okay.
She doesn't know you that well.
But Jordan, by the way, he's over there twisting his mustache.
I also got a phone call from Catholic Charities.
Yeah.
That following the chain back, it was like through 3 different people to get to that person who said, this is the person that you need to talk to.
That's awesome.
And the 3rd phone call was someone, and I kind of laughed because she's like, why? I see your signs everywhere. I have 1 sign out right now. And it just got picked up. So you're not seeing my signs everywhere. You're seeing me everywhere because I'm showing up on the socials. And we talk about distressed properties all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what people are seeing. If you're in any of my networking groups, you're going to hear me talk about distressed property. That's what I'm talking about. And like sometimes agents will follow me. There'll be another agent at the event and I'll talk about distressed properties and short sales and saving people from foreclosure. And then they look at me and they're like, how am I supposed to follow that? Talk about what you do. What is it? Well, I help buyers and sellers. Okay, so now you got to work on your
pitch.
Work on your pitch because we're all different.
Yeah.
And the reality is we all have something that we're good at. Talk about that.
Yep.
Just talk about that.
Before we jump, because Brad's got to get back out and save
And
more
you didn't
people,
get to talk
solve
hardly
more
at all
crimes.
today.
I know, it's great. No, just kidding.
Well, I feel like we're pulling Brad on now, and he's like, "We're still at war. Gas prices are still up.
Actually, no.
Straight to Hormuz.
It was a good night last night for rains.
Wide open, baby, wide open. I wanted you to talk about, just touch on real quickly, because I think people could again talk to whatever they're using for a tool and create this. And I thought it was super smart that you mentioned that you've created like a board of directors as well.
Oh yes.
Like you can sort of say take any problem and throw it in front of, I want my real estate person to think like Gary Keller. I want my investor to think like Warren Buffett. I want
I have two.
You have two board of directors.
I have two.
Do you let them fight?
I could.
Yeah. So talk more about that so people can understand the mindset of what you did.
So the first board of directors has an antagonist, a challenger, an analyst, a coach, and a strategist, if I didn't already say that one. There's 5.
Mm-hmm.
And you can literally ask them a question.
Mm-hmm.
And again, all in the prompt. So you ask them a question and you say, I want all 5 members of the board to weigh in, which means you're going to get all of their responses. And the one I did yesterday was, I want the antagonist and the coach, because coach is hope, right? That's they're all positive, right? I want
where's that
in the in my board.
She's not talking about me. Grandpa Lindsay just throwing stuff in his office.
So I wanted.
Oh my God! It's a police calling.
I wanted those two to have a discussion, right? Because they're on opposite sides. This one's going to challenge everything, and this one's like, oh, everything's rosy. No, you two got to. And then I want consensus from all of you on the answer. It spits out like a 3-page document every time with every question. And so you ask it that and you're like, holy crap, okay. But then it gives you an answer and a direction that it thinks you should go. And when you think about this, that advisory board is using my DNA and my clone. It knows my business,
knows
and
your
so
goals.
it automatically goes after what's the angle with distressed properties on this? What's the angle with the TV show? How do we use these tools that we already have to drive business? So that's one. The other one is specific to real estate. I pulled in Warren Buffett for the money. I pulled in Gary Keller, Jason Abrams, and there was another one that I pulled in. And then I said, pull in Ben Kinney, because I was in Ben and Brian Gubenek's mastermind for like 4 years out in Arizona. Brian was my personal coach for 4 years. And I said, I want Brian Gubenek and I want Ben Kinney. And then I said, I want these characteristics of Ben, because they're two very different individuals.
Yes.
I want these characteristics from Ben and I want these characteristics from Brian, and merge them into another persona and put that in my advisory board. And so when I have a real estate question.
So Gubernick and Kinney had a baby.
Yes.
All right. Wonderful. I hope it gets Gubernick's eyes. Yes. The kid will be beautiful.
The ironic thing is, I talked about that. In the mastery class, we do one-on-ones every third week. So they put us in groups. Well, not groups, but one-on-one chats. And so you get to meet the other people in there. Well, the very first week, I got to talk to Igor. He was my last person that got paired with me. And I explained that I did that. And he's like, I never thought of that. And so we went back to the group, and he immediately told everybody in the mastery group what I had done so that they could go do it. And I was like, oh, that was cool.
Not falling behind anymore.
Yeah.
So
you're like, hey, Tony, is that worth a free month?
But it's like, think outside the box. But truly, I believe the clone is the key. That's the key to it, because it shortcuts you, like I said, from being like a second grader to having a master's degree. And if you can cut out all that time in between, how long is it going to take you to teach your AI repeatedly to get to that level, when in a couple of hours you could shortcut that
For sure.
and be done and have it? And when you put your DNA in, it spits out a whole report for you of what it learned instantly from what you put in. And then I always have people ask it a question. And I would say, for the people watching, ask your favorite clone this question and see what it tells you. Tell me something about myself that I don't already know, and see what it tells you. I had somebody else do it because I already had my clone when I got that prompt.
Yeah.
And so I had somebody else do it, and it just pulled up everything about my business. Had nothing about me as a human, which I'm like, okay, well, that means I've kept that off of.
Sure.
And then I did it again after I created the clone. And then I did it again later after I had worked with the clone, and very different answers, all three of them. Very different. And it's interesting because for me, the thing that it's hammered on was, first, I wasn't giving myself permission to scale. And then after it had all the information, it's like, well, it's not that you don't have permission to scale. You already are the CEO of a scaled business.
Yeah.
You're just more comfortable stepping into the day-to-day task. And I went, oh, let's change that.
Yep.
And, so it makes you think different. And that's for me, that's been the huge thing. I'm thinking different, which means I'm acting different.
Yeah.
I show up different.
Yeah. Well, when you get to the next fork in the road of AI, we'll have to have you back to give us the latest update. See if Jordan has taken over or not.
Jordan's not going to take over.
She says that.
I like this, Jordan.
Claude might.
Why would I want to take over?
Yeah. Why would I do that, Tim?
Jordan won't take over, but Claude might.
Wow. All right.
Claude's the anthropic. He's a agentic that can go and do for you.
Yeah.
Where Jordan can't do for me.
Yeah.
He can review and he can serve me up information, but
prompted tasks on your behalf as opposed to
Claude is the one that's agentic and can literally go do
runs with it
without you even asking. Now, my clone can serve up, and it serves me up a distressed property report every Monday morning, and I come in on Monday morning and it's sitting in my inbox.
That's awesome.
And it's like, here's the new ones.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So
awesome.
Yeah,
if now that you have more free time, and this is important, I think we work. AI is going to give me all this free time. As your friend and your coach, I hope that you don't think like, oh, I have to use all that to work. Like you can take a nap, you can go take a vacation. But since you do have a little more time in your business and you're available to help people with referrals and stuff like that, you're situated in the Nashua area. If people need to get a hold of you for referral purposes, how do they track you down? What's the best way to do that?
Easiest way is my cell phone, 603-864-9411. Just call me. I'm very easy to find on any of the socials. If you want to check out the TV show, it's All Things Real Estate. And if somebody wants to be on the TV show, just ask.
Get Nathan on there.
I would love to. I asked Jason yesterday.
I'd love that. Fantastic. You have to get Nathan on the show.
Yep, I would love to have Nathan.
Yes, Westcott and Dickie on the show. And then bring Bradley in.
I want Bradley.
Bradley's going to be on the show.
I want you on the show.
Eventually. Sure. Yes.
We'll put you in the hot seat.
You should get him soon. I mean, he is getting older.
Well, as I'm about to say, we love Brad Kelly. If you need to work with Brad Kelly, you can reach him at 603-396-3198. Bradley and the team at Movement Mortgage bring you this conversation every week. Christina LaRoche Barros joins us next Friday, and we will be back here with Brad. Brad will do an update on the Strait of Hormuz, gas prices, the condo thing, which will be a hot topic. We'll discuss that all next Friday right here at Coffee with a Capper. Terry, thanks for hanging out, kiddo.
Absolutely.
We'll
Thanks
see
for
you
having me.
soon. Bye-bye.